Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, inflation rises in September to 21.5%, triggered by a rise in cost of food.
In the month of September 2024, year-on-year rate of inflation stood at 21.5%, indicating that between September 2023 and September 2024, the average price levels of goods and services went up by 21.5%.
Also ahead, we explore the impact on fuel prices in Ghana as Israel wars with its neighbors in the Middle East. Plus, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers calls on LPG Marketers Association to solve its issues with the National Petroleum Authority to avert shortage of gas in the future.
Also not be, in a hurry to, as it were, create any disturbances within the space, because when that happens, it is as the consumers who would now, suffer.
My name is Daryl Kwao. Details coming up. And first up, the year-on-year inflation for the month of September 2024 has increased to 21.5% from 20.4% recorded in the month of August. Now, the Ghana Statistical Service has attributed the increase to a rise in food inflation. Here's government statistician Professor Samuel Kobneni.
September 2024, year-on-year rate of inflation stood at 21.5%, indicating that between September 2023 and September 2024, the average price levels of goods and services went up by 21.5%. On a year-on-year basis, for September 2024, prices of goods and services went up by 21.5%. This indicates a 1.1 percentage point variation between the year-on-year inflation that was recorded in August 2024, which stood at 20.4%, relative to the 21.5% that has been recorded for September 2024. Disaggregating this from a food and non-food perspective, food inflation recorded a higher rate of 22.1%, while non-food inflation recorded 20.9% for the month of September 2024. While we are seeing an increasing rate for food inflation by 3.0 percentage points between August 2024 and September 2024, we see a marginal decline for non-food inflation as it declined by 0.6 percentage points from 21.5% in August 2024 to 20.9% in September 2024. From a regional perspective, the Savannah region recorded the highest rate of inflation of 36.4%, and this was more than twice the region that recorded the lowest rate of inflation, which was the Northeast region that recorded the lowest rate of inflation of 16.7%. From a locally produced item perspective and an imported item perspective, we recorded a 6.4 percentage point difference between inflation for locally produced items, which stood at 23.4% relative to 17.0% for inflation for imported items.
All right, the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobneni, addressing the press earlier in the day. Let's get some quick reaction from Dr. Seyram Kao, who is Senior Finance Lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. So your reaction to the latest figures for 5 months, we've seen inflation trend downwards. Now we've seen a pickup, and that's been triggered by the rising cost of food. Your thoughts?
Thank you, Dari. It's a worrying situation, but not too alarming. We're seeing the rate of inflation going up is only telling us that there is a lot of work we need to do in the country, especially on the local market, the rate at which prices are going up. In terms of food production, it also brings to the fore the issue of the planting for food and jobs. At what point in time will the benefits start trickling in? We also need to look at the pricing of our items on our market, because the local Ghanaian person is the one that prices the items that we have produced locally. We can also not blame them so much because they use a lot of utilities, labor, and these things are also very much expensive. And so getting the rate going up is a bit worrying, but not very much alarming.
Recently, we talked about it. We've got challenges containing the cedi. Depreciation has slowed down somewhat. I mean, these are signs to look out for. But the government, previously was projecting an end-of-year target of 15%. Do you think that is achievable, seeing the way things are going? And do you think that this is, like you said there was no cause for alarm, but do you think that this is just a one-off?
No, it's going to be a rate that will continue because the depreciation of the cedi play a critical role in the inflation rate that we find, because we're looking at the imported inflation and locally inflation on locally produced items. And so if we look at the rate at which the cedi is depreciating, we exchanging the cedi to the dollar almost 16 Ghana cedis now. And so looking at it, achieving that target of 15% is very much ambitious, and we need to be extra careful. The reality is that inflation is not going to trickle down now. We are going to the festivities. December is a period where we have Christmas coming in, New Year coming in. There will be more demand for imported items for Christmas within the period. If the cedi did not depreciate over time, then we're going to have issues. Just yesterday, we have utility prices going up. And these utility prices that have gone up, we are going to have a rippling effect on the prices of the items that we buy and purchase on the market. So I don't see us achieving that ambitious goal of 15% at the end of the year.
You talk about utility prices going up, and we also need to bring this up. The issue in the Middle East, right now we are seeing crude oil prices go up on the international market, which could mean it could have an impact locally. Fuel prices could be going up, and we know what that does to inflation as well. What should the government be doing now?
Yeah, so that is a serious issue that we need to look at. I don't know why government is not hedging against the prices of fuel items on the market using a forward rate. In the past, that has been done over time. Then that requires prudent measures to be put in place and planning to ensure that the prices of the items, and anytime you have a conflict in one particular zone or region of Africa or around the world, it will also affect the crude prices that we face on the general market. Again, going forward, there is a need for us to invest in trying to refine our own crude in our country to bring down the rate of inflation that we have. We also need to look at mechanization of agriculture to reduce the prices of the items that we have. And then we need a lot of education in terms of pricing of the items that are available. The general Ghanaian is generous, but we have seen a trend where market women and men, and then looking at the producers, are now more profit oriented, and they link almost everything to the dollar when even it has nothing to do with the dollar. So we need that patriotism to come in and not to copy what the politicians are doing in the country.
Dr. Seyram Kaur, thank you so much for your time. Grateful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, let's turn to other stories. Projections that prices of petroleum products will be going down further in the coming weeks may now be under threat. This is because prices of crude oil on the international market, as we've been talking about, have started going up as a result of the escalating war in the Middle East. Here's George Affe with more.
Several industry watchers had indeed forecast that the recent reduction in the price of petroleum products from last month could be sustained till November this year. However, With Israel's war with some of its neighbors escalating following Iran's attack on Israel, and President of that country, Benjamin Netanyahu, promising last night to retaliate, that has left many revising their notes. The price of crude oil shot up by 3% yesterday, reversing the sustained decline posted recently. The reduction in the prices of petroleum products at the pumps had been influenced recently by the city's recovery. And if that is not sustained, then we are in for some challenging times. Well, for the first pricing window, it is based on developments on the international markets some 2 weeks ago. So we shouldn't be surprised if we witness some price reviews from the oil marketing companies from today. But we are not assured of it being sustained. There are also concerns about what is happening in the Middle East and how that could affect global shipments and the prices of other commodities. Here in Ghana, we're prepared to pay more for those imports, and how this development could also affect the general price levels going forward and inflation.
Now, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is calling on the liquefied petroleum gas operators to desist from unfair industry practices where operators decide not to load from some off-takers for their interest. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the Petrosol Energizing Dreams promotion, Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, advised LPG operators to resolve their issues with the National Petroleum Authority to avert a shortage of gas in the future.
It's an interesting development where you have the LPGMC suspicious that the CRM program is targeted at collapsing their businesses. And so they are not going to pick products from some of the major players that supply LPG, Sage, Puma, and the likes. That ought to be resolved. And I do think that we should move away from a situation where it is either me or nothing kind of scenario. If the LPGMCs would need to be met halfway, I think that they should be met halfway. But then again, they should also not be, in a hurry to, as it were, create any disturbances within the space. Because when that happens, it is as the consumers who would now, suffer. Whatever differences they have with the NPA, they should sit and resolve them and ensure that we are not going to buy from here, this won't load and all of that. It's an unfair industry practice. If you have your license like somebody else has their license, you are paying for the license, they are paying, and you decide that you would sabotage the other business. I don't find that, something to encourage. They should resolve the differences. There's not shortage of gas, as it were, there's enough. But when we decide we won't load from here, we won't pick from here. And the volumes we have are such that if we were picking from everybody, we would have had enough to everybody. Then we are creating the problems ourselves. We need to resolve them.
Now, Petrosol Ghana has reiterated its commitment to ensure the delivery of quality petroleum products to consumers. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive of the Indigenous Oil Marketing Company, Michael Bozumbil, noted that the company will continue to deliver quality products and services to its customers. He spoke at the Petrosol Ghana Energizing Dreams promotion, which aims to reward patrons with amazing prizes after purchase of fuel products from the 1st of October to the 31st of March 2025.
The Petrosol Energizing Dreams promotion is aimed at rewarding Petrosol's loyal customers. As the festive season approaches, the indigenous ISO-certified oil marketing company, well known for its commitment to service excellence, professionalism and industry best practices, is set to reward its customers. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the Petrosol Energizing Dreams promotion, Chief Executive of Petrosol Ghana, Michael Bozumbil, emphasized Petrosol Ghana's brand promise of ensuring utmost customer satisfaction.
As we celebrate our 10th anniversary, we thought that it is important that we appreciate our customers. We show gratitude. And so this promo is intended to energize our customers. And we are saying energize because we know that we are in a very challenging time because of high cost of living. And so this is the time as a brand that we too should get close to our customers and support them. And so you will see over the next 6 months, starting from today, we'll be giving out fuel vouchers to support our customers, fridges, TV sets, irons, motorbikes, aboboya, and ultimately 2 brand new vehicles.
Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amoah, commended Petrosol for its consistency in ensuring high standards delivery.
It's one of those safe brands that you can almost put your hand to your chest to say, you are not going to get anything wrong with that brand. You never get their names associated with anything bad within the industry, be it taxes, be it quality, be it quantity. They will supply you the right quantity at the right price.
Mark Eduboating, Lubricant Marketing and Communications Manager at Petrosol, explains how patrons can partake in the promotion.
The promo starts as per this launch on the 1st of October 2024 and it runs all the way to the 1st of March 2025. To be part of it, we have 3 tiers of rewards we are giving. So we have those ones that when you drive in and purchase, there is a lucky dip box. You put your hand in there, anything you pick, whether it's going to be a t-shirt, an umbrella, key ring, name it, you pick it there instantly. However, if you want to win any of the bigger prizes we have, for example, the tricycle, the motorcycle, the fridges, the microwave, all of that, then you are supposed to buy a certain limit for every month. We have targets we set. So for instance, with lubricants and fuel together, you should have bought like 5,000 cedis by the close of each of the months within which the promo is underway. And then you qualify to be in the draw. Once you are in the draw, you stand a chance of winning any of these big items that we have. Then after the 6 months promo has ended, then comes the grand finale. So the grand finale, you should have bought 5 times what you were buying every month for you to qualify to be in the grand draw. So for instance, the same taxi driver who was buying 5,000 every month to be in the draw would have to buy 25,000 cedis at the end of the 6 months to qualify to be in the grand draw. And once you are there, then you are sure you might be carrying home one of the Suzuki Espressos that we are giving out.
The promo will offer exciting prices for patrons who driving daily to purchase petroleum products across the over 120 Petrosol fuel stations across the country.
You're watching The Marketplace. Time to talk tech. And joining me in studio, my colleague Isaac Atasen-Nyako to discuss an national e-commerce policy and framework, which is being developed by the National Information Technology Agency in collaboration with the GIZ. Now, talk to us about the aim of this policy and how it will inure to our benefit.
So, Daryl, now the GIZ in collaboration with NITA, like you mentioned, has been working on this policy framework to try and regulate and properly situate the e-commerce space. Now, according to NITA, the space is valued at around 970 million. Not only that, but it holds the potential to employ more people and also grow rapidly. We all know that globally, Amazon hit about, 2 trillion in terms of their value, quite recently. And then so the aim is that this market has the potential to do more for Ghana, especially when we look at the tech space. Now, if you look at the branches, now, this can also help SMEs, especially now that we are talking intercontinental trade. This can easily make someone or an SME somewhere in Wale Wale, in Bole, be easily, or will it be able to easily transport their goods, their wares from all the way in Wale Wale to any part in Africa, for instance. Now, if you look at fintechs, payment systems, it has the capacity. Of late, a lot of people, or let's say courier services has created jobs for a lot of young men and women now. And this also a fraction of the space. And so GIZ believes that, together with NITA, believes that this regulation will properly situate the space. Issues of cybersecurity. Now, I can easily go on Amazon, shop with my card, and I know that, my code is safe. I don't know about any of the e-commerce, platforms here in Ghana. So issues about data protection, cybersecurity issues, when I deposit my card number on a website, what happens to it? Who is in charge of the back room? Where does it go? What happens to it? We all know the issues about data protection around the world globally. And so this is what they've been trying to do to see how best they can regulate the sector.
Well, and if they are talking about it, suggests that perhaps there's a boom in the e-commerce sector here in Ghana.
Well, yes, there is. In fact, like I mentioned, I mean, we've not seen, it's not lived to its full potential yet, Daryl. Like I mentioned, now it's easy. Now we all sit online and order from, Instagram, from, SME shops, all online. Mm-hmm. Now, if we have proper regulated e-commerce platforms, it's that easy for me to, just order a product. Now, or the good thing is that now I can also sit here in Ghana, order a product from anywhere outside of Ghana as well, since they are trying to integrate other African platforms to this as well. So this will not only, be beneficial to Ghanaians, first of all for the consumer, secondly for businesses, especially the micro, small and medium businesses who are looking to scale up, reach borders in Ghana and beyond as well. Right. And so yes, this has a huge potential.
All right, I mean, was it 3 months or so ago we talked about Starlink becoming operational here in Ghana? So we are following everything Starlink news, and we're hearing that in Nigeria, Starlink is doubling its subscription fees or prices. And it's got everybody talking. Is there a sign of what is to come here in Ghana? What's the story?
So what it is that Starlink, in a recent email to its consumers in Nigeria, is saying that they'll be increasing prices, which is about 100% increment from about $24 to almost $48 in Nigeria. Now, that's for the household. Now, the interesting thing is that now the Ghana fee is around $48, so it's pretty much the same if you compare the prices between the two countries. But they attribute this to high inflation in Nigeria. Now, if you know this, what's happening on the Nigerian market, inflation, dipped a little bit from July to August, but it's been on the rise for about a year now. And so, yes, for them, they think that it will be prudent for them to increase prices in Nigeria.
We've run out of time. We'll continue that conversation. Isaac Atosei, thank you so much. That's the marketplace. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business, including the latest inflation figures. You can read more about this. Inflation for September 2024 increases to 21.5%. myjoyonline.com/business. We will be back same time tomorrow. Goodbye.